I was a labor economist for the Department of Labor, so I went from DOL to DOE.
Oh,
Very small change.
yeah.
So I was offered a regional
Department
labor
of Labor
economist job
was
with
keeping
the
score.
Department of Labor. Yep.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, so it had nothing to do with INL.
Mm-mm.
So Idaho National Labs. So it was Idaho Falls DOL job.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I
Nice.
represented the eastern part of the state. That was like my geography.
Nice.
And my role was really to make sure that I could use my skill set and the resources of the Department of Labor to help elevate those regional communities, those industry partners, have really honest conversations about labor competitive, the competitive market for the labor force. Why are we having problems attracting labor force to that region, specific industries, those kinds
Yeah.
of things. So I spent 3 years doing that, and I think just like built some really incredible partnerships.
Nice. Who'd you work for? Which department? Like, how's it structured, and kind of who are the main constituents?
So I worked for the labor statistics and analysis group out
Yeah.
of
Like,
Department of Labor, which is out of Boise.
okay, I've been on the BLS site before.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So there's a BLS team under that grander umbrella, and we were like the regional economist economic analysis part of things, but we would work with the BLS team quite a lot.
Hmm.
So each state has a team of labor economists
Hmm.
through the Department of Labor. Depending on the size of the state, the
Yeah.
team size varies. In Idaho, we would have 5 or 6, depending on who was kind of where representing what.
Sure.
Um, and so I had the Idaho Falls job. So I lived out in Idaho Falls, lived in the region. But the core of the team, right, was in Boise. So I would travel back and forth
Yeah.
pretty often.
Nice. And then
Yeah.
constituents, were they employers, also, I mean, workforce development groups, like, and what was the mission? Just to sort of help be connective tissue? Like, what's the mission of the group?
Yeah, connective tissue certainly, I think mostly education, right? I did a lot of public speaking. I still do,
Sure.
but at that time it was really helping employers or the local community college and universities, even the city, county, regional leadership recognize like, okay, we're trying to market to have people move here
Yep.
to take on the jobs because we're growing faster than we have a labor force for. How do we mitigate those issues? Where are the breakdowns? I spent a lot of time with the local hospitals. They're having a really hard time keeping some of their staff in certain occupations,
Sure.
so doing wage analysis to help them be competitive. So the charge was really to enhance the regional economy through workforce data. How can I help them do that? How can I connect them with resources they don't have? Um, I think I really kind of based my success in that role around coalition building.
Yeah.
So I became very good at recognizing where data plays a role and how that can inform decisions in a really positive way. But ultimately, it's the people and the teams that you put around the table that use that data for good.
Yep.
And so I spent time doing that. I traveled a lot. I was never really I was in Idaho Falls. I lived there, but every week I was in Salmon or Driggs or Power County or
Mhm.
Butte County or you name it.
Pocatello.
Pocatello. Yeah.
Great name.
Good old
Great,
Pocatello.
great town.
Yeah.
That's cool. BLS statistics, Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS.
Hmm.
How accurate is the BLS data set? Like, I mean, give us the good, bad, and the ugly. I mean, I think it's really powerful.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, your thoughts on the data quality and whatnot.
BLS is our baseline, right? So without BLS, we don't have anything else, especially on the national level.
Yeah.
So it's really important for those reasons. Is it perfect? No. No data set is. Where I've found like a really nice balance is BLS is on a national platform, right? Their job is to project for the country. Their job is to recognize labor trends across the country, and each state helps kind of build up to that
Sure.
bigger picture. The benefit of a state like Idaho is that if you know enough people, you know everybody. And so you can get a whole lot more information.
Manual census every 6 months, right?
And for the energy industry now, I do that. Um, pretty close at
What do
least.
you mean? We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Keep going, please.
So we, I think, have a really unique position being a smaller state to inform the BLS on, industry traffic, workforce change, projections for population, those kinds of things, and be a lot closer to reality than some other states have the opportunity to do, just simply because of our size, and our impact. So I think that it's as accurate as it's going to get from a macro perspective. The more informing that specific localities and regions can do, make that data better. But you know, they're doing the best with what they can.
I have no complaints with it. I sometimes just wonder, you know, is this?
I mean, there's gaps. There just are.
We do a lot of mapping around the occupational count across the country, and one challenge we sometimes have is just figuring out, you know, when you have a craft, especially like an electrician, you know, ultimately we want to understand how many electricians are needed in this industry versus that industry versus that industry. You know? So it's a wealth of information, but I'm excited to see maybe the BLS will roll out some agentic AI on top of it soon, and you know, chat GPT querying going on.
Maybe
it's a lot to a lot to unpack.
It is, and a lot of labor hours to make that happen.
Oh my gosh. So is the data mostly collected? I mean, there's tons of different types of data, but is the census a major drawing data source?
So they use the BLS survey, like occupational survey, where you basically have the historical data that informs the projectionary work. And then they go back through these BLS teams that exist in the states, and then they do occupational surveying on top of that. Obviously, the census work and the population count, those kinds of things inform that historical data and the projectionary set and the regression models. But I think that the biggest kind of alternative or mechanism for improving is in that occupational survey, because that's where you're creating a database that does not exist historically, right? So you're adding as much information as you can to inform the current and the future that you don't have historical data to represent.
We found the I don't know what you call the data set, but the salary data per role in different metro areas across the country, that's pretty interesting. And I assume a major driver of that is you talk about the occupational survey. So it's nice that it certainly adjusts for cost. It's the market rate for that role based on market economics, labor economics, real estate, cost of living, all that stuff, right? So, very cool. We could nerd out on economics
for a very long time.
Yeah.